Well, thank you for doing this interview. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome, Colin.
I'm glad to be here catching up with you and everything.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. So, I just wanted to start out asking you about, as a kid, what's your favorite memory as a kid being like,
wow.
yeah.
Well, I'm probably thinking of this because it's Christmas time now, but we had a big family. I've got 7 brothers and sisters,
Okay.
and so there's 8 kids. And at one point, we're scattered all over the country. Now we're all in Georgia, except for my brothers moving back. But we had everybody come in for Christmas, and at that point, everyone gave everyone presents. So it was just so great to have everybody and have that all the whole family there for the week. And then I remember opening those presents hours and hours. We would take a break and eat breakfast, take a hour open, take a break and eat lunch. So as a little kid, that was just heaven. So to have all my big brothers who, they were 15, 16 years older than me. So they were out of the house when I was growing up, but I just looked up to them. So to have them back in the house and just have that was it.
What was your favorite gift as a kid getting Christmas?
I always wanted the motorcycle, but never got it. Bikes, probably.
Yeah?
Bikes, yeah.
Yeah, did you ever get one? A bike?
Oh yeah, bikes. I got all the cool bikes when you're little. That had I don't know what they had now, with the banana seat and all that, and then you get the 10-speed when you're older and just going. But yeah, that was it.
That's ironic. I wanted a bike too. I never got one though. Yeah, but it was just because of where I lived, of course.
Yeah.
So, what was life like growing up through middle school and high school for you? Was it like really like sporty? Were you a sporty kid?
No, I was a geek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a nerd. Actually, if you watch Stranger Things, that's pretty much me. Yeah, because it's in the '80s, and so if you've seen those little kids, that's kind of it. I was kind of like late bloomer. I kind of hit my stride in college, which I just loved. Yeah, the University of Georgia, passion. And then I was lucky enough to, I'll get ahead of it, but I'm lucky enough to go into a career I love too.
Yeah,
so,
that's good. What was your, I guess, did you have a really embarrassing moment in high school?
Oh, probably every day. Gosh. I'm sure I had lots of them, but I can't think of one coming to mind right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I'm right there with you. I had a lot of them too. Don't worry. But yeah, so what was going off to college that senior year summer? How was life like? What was your favorite memory? Sending off, leaving everybody. What was that like?
I think most people, I was excited, but also I was really kind of nervous about what college would be like. I started out at a small school first year, Oxford of Emory. But my girlfriend was going to Georgia. I was going there, so that was another whole complication. So, and I worked to make money all summer, worked a lot, so that's what it was mostly. It was just getting ready and worrying about what college was going to be like. Not so much the academics, I knew I could handle that, but just the, meeting people and adjusting to college life.
Yeah.
I was pretty spoiled, so, I didn't know how to do laundry or anything like that, so, I was learning all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Where'd you work at when you were going to college?
I worked at a place that, I worked for my dad sometimes. He owned a pharmaceutical company. And I also worked for a company that set up, those cubicles in offices.
Yeah.
I was grunt labor. I unloaded the semis and took them up and put them together and did that.
Yeah, hard work, huh?
Yeah, it convinced me that I did not want to do that for the rest of my life.
Definitely. I hear that. Well, that's good. So, what was the throughout when you went to Georgia? What made you want to become a teacher? What was that?
Good question.
Studying?
I wasn't like my dad or certain people I know that my dad said he knew he wanted to be a pharmacist since age 12. I didn't really know what I wanted. Like many people, went into college and said, okay, I know I don't want to do anything to do with math or science.
Yeah.
Because that wasn't my forte. I went to journalism school first. I always had been a good writer, but it was always like content A, grammar C kind of thing. So I was saying, what should I do? What should I do? And I finally just didn't know what I wanted to do, so I went into advertising for the first thing. And after a semester in there, I just said, for me, this is not what I want to spend my life doing. It didn't seem to make enough of a difference to me, you know. So I'd always had good experience with some, remembered some great teachers from high school, and I always felt pretty good in the academic world because I'd had some success there. So I just kind of drifted towards it, and I didn't really know I wanted to do it until I started my student teaching.
Really?
Then I thought, okay,
Yeah.
Working with the kids is great. I can make a difference. This is pretty cool. And so that's what I started.
What was the thing you liked most about working with the kids?
Teenagers are fun. They really are. They're hilarious. I'm trying to think back on the early days, and some of it was frustrating. Later on, when I got to teach them what courses I wanted to teach, and I was very fortunate to work with very motivated kids. It's just such a fun experience when kids get into what you're teaching, and you're really learning from them, and if you're a teacher who cares about what you're doing, you're excited, and then if they get excited, they get you more excited, and if you get more excited, it's just a cycle, and you're really in it together, and you see them. You just, the best thing in the world is opening doors. Kids who didn't realize they liked something or they were interested in something, and you open that door, and they go, "Wow, this is really, really cool. I've never looked at it in this way before." And if you excite them for learning, that's the greatest thing, because then it doesn't really matter what they do. It's just they're interested in learning, and they enjoy that. So, it gets you charged up. It motivates you. It's exciting. It's fun. And high school kids really are really, they get a bad rap sometimes, but they're fun.
Yeah.
They really are. They're at a great point in their life where they're full of emotion and full of energy and some optimism, and it's going to be contagious.
Yeah.
So I got as much from them as they got from me.
That's good. So how did you get to Heritage High School from when you graduated? Was it just right off the start, or?
Yeah, I graduated college. I was at University of Georgia. I bamboozled my parents into letting me take one more semester. I got one PE and an independent study spring semester at UGA. I didn't finish the independent study. I had to finish it in college, in summer. I enjoyed it that semester so much, and I got them to do that. And I said, any chance I'd go for one more year in grad school? And they said no. Yeah. We paid you your way through. It's time to go. And I said okay. So I started looking for jobs, and there were places you go just to find out who's offering jobs. So I looked, and there went on 2 interviews in my life for real jobs. And I went to Southwest DeKalb, and they paid more money, and they offered me the job. And I drove out to Conyers, Georgia. And the only thing I knew about Conyers, Georgia was that a couple of my friends from college had gone to Heritage High School, actually, and were from Conyers and knew that. And I said, okay. And I said, I don't care. I'm young. I can live anywhere in the metro area. So I went to Conyers and had a real good experience with the interview. And they offered me the job. So I had 2 job offers. And I said, which one should I take? This is more money, so that seems like instant gratification, a couple thousand more a year, which back then was a lot of money. But I said, this just feels right. And it was, because I went to Heritage and stayed for 30 years and had just a fantastic career.
Awesome.
Loved it.
I'm really happy you chose Heritage.
Well, thank you.
And I would have had you, but how was the
well, just to build on that, I mean, you know, your whole life hinges on these decisions.
Yeah.
I went there. That's where I met Judy, my wife.
Okay.
Yeah, she worked there for a long
Wow.
time. She was 26 years. That's where I met Judy, and it's funny. She, the year before, she'd been offered a different job. She'd been working at Heritage, but somebody else wanted her to work somewhere else, and she had taken it. And the principal called and said, "Please, please, is there any way to keep you?" And she stayed, and that changed
Wow.
both of our lives
Yep.
forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Going on to how you met your wife, what was the first experience in meeting her?
Well, she always gives me trouble because I'm a new teacher. I come in there. I'm meeting 1,000 people in the well, not 1,000. I mean 100 and something people in the cafeteria, and she goes, "I always remember the first time I met you. Do you remember me? The first time I met you?" No. so
Yeah.
but we worked together and became friends for years.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah. That's good. So what was your first day? How was your first day as a teacher? How did that go?
I'm sure I was terrified. I remember for years, like not being able to sleep the night before my first day. Even when I got comfortable with it, just so nervous. So I'm sure I was terrified. I'm sure I was terrible. I was excited. I was just young, knew nothing. The best thing about it though is I knew nothing, but I was smart enough to know that I knew nothing. So when I came in there to a great department, all these people were still my friends, and they had been teaching for a long time, and they had all sorts of experience, and I just listened to them and learned from them. I had the department chair's daughter in my first class. I was like, oh, great, but I survived. I'm sure I was fumbling and stumbling and doing some things well and a lot of things poorly, but I was trying hard, and then I was coaching football that first year, so I'm the kind I couldn't go into class unprepared. I just couldn't, even in the first year. So I was up till 1 o'clock every night, and then going and teaching all day and coaching football afterwards. But I was young.
Yeah.
I could do it.
What was coaching like?
Coaching was interesting. I had played baseball. That was my sport. I played baseball. I played golf. I played tennis. But I'd never played football. And they came in, and I was like, I don't know if you know this, but if you're a young man and you teach social studies, if you want to get a job, you coach. And they said, can you coach football? And I said, I'll do anything you want to get a job. And they said, okay. And they brought the football coach in, and I was a big football fan. I knew a lot about football, and he goes, oh yeah. He said, I can teach him. So that was an interesting experience. And the guy who was there, oh man, he was old school. I mean, this is how I learned. He's standing on the football field, smoking a cigarette at practice, cussing the kids out. I'm going, okay, so this is how we do it, Luckily, I eventually learned that that's not the only way to coach. But and then at that same interview, just a wonderful guy named Peter Monteith was the head football coach at Heritage for a long time. I don't know if you remember when we walked past the library trophy case. There's a big portrait of some guy sitting there.
Yeah.
That's him. And Peter comes in. He's a head soccer coach, and they said, what do you want to coach? What else do you want to coach? I said, well, I'll coach baseball. That's what I play. And he goes, yeah, we don't need that. How about soccer? And I said, sure. How many people go on the field? I swear I did not know. And then Peter came out, and he talked to me, and he said, okay, yeah, I can teach you. He really did teach me the game. And then he put kids on my team like Clint Mathis and people like that. Yeah, and I said, yeah, this is a pretty easy job. When you go out and win, guys, and that's what they did. So,
Awesome.
so I mean, of all the things I ever coached, football, soccer, slow pitch, fast pitch, academic team, all these things, I've never had a losing season in anything.
Wow.
Winning
record.
I was just lucky.
Yeah.
But and fanatic and driven. I don't like to lose.
Hey, well, I'm pretty sure that's just anybody would hire you now knowing that winning record. So.
No thanks.
So all the way, the first thing probably bad about the high school experience was on May 20th, 1999. When TJ Solomon came into the school. Can you go through your day starting out?
Oh, well, start with the fact that TJ was in my class that semester. TJ, my classroom was set up the same way it was when you were in, so he was third row, second desk, sophomore in my world history class, advanced world history, and nice kid. Again, they always say these kind of stuff. Nice kid, never had a problem with him. Very quiet. And that morning, I was at academic team practice. We met every morning, so we'd just gone through practice, and the kids had just left. Some of them stayed in my room with them, and just like you just you get these kids coming in saying there's gunfire or something like that, and you go, what? And there's, everyone thought, no, it's firecrackers. Even though Columbine had happened a month earlier, it still was in everyone's mind that it couldn't happen here. I don't think that would be the same reaction today, but then it was, no, it couldn't happen. And to the point where, I mean, people were running out of the parking lot, and then we got the word that it was just firecrackers. And so we were told to come get them. So we said, go on, go back, guys. Well, we brought them back into the school at one point. And then it became obvious that, no, there's a shooter. And we were supposed to have this. We prepared, you prepare for these things. We were supposed to have this, if there's ever anything bad like that happening, we'll have they'll come on and say, Mr. Brown is in the building or something. Mm-hmm. Well, that went out of the building, and that went out the door, in the midst of this, and somebody got in there and said, everyone get in their room and lock the door. So I just gathered as many kids as we could and got in the room, and it was pretty scary. At one point, and then a lot of kids just did jump in cars and go, but then all of a sudden came into our minds, it's like when we walked outside to check on those kids, coming into our minds that 2 weeks earlier there'd been this incident in Tennessee where there's a shooting, and then there's another shooter outside, so the people ran outside. They were supposed to get you then. So it's just crazy. Then at some point, this was later, my wife was a counselor in the counseling department, and I didn't know she was okay. And so I can't remember. I guess we had another teacher in the room, and I said, yeah, because at that point I think 2 or 3 people were in my room, two teachers. And I said, I gotta go check on my wife. So I went up there, and not knowing if the shooter was still there or if he was not, and I just remember going around the corner, and this kid running at me, and him being tackled, and he was just some scared kid, and some teacher tackled him. And I went up to the door into the hallway into the front office, and I look around, and there's one kid I know being carried because he's been shot in the leg, and they're trying to find stuff, stop the bleeding. But I still didn't know if Judy was okay. So, I run into her office and says, "Are you okay?" And she's, "What? Yeah, I'm fine." And she didn't understand. I didn't know if she was alive or not. By that point, the shooter had been, tackled. And TJ had been tackled by Mr. Brinkley, and she thought it was just, yeah, I'm okay, I'm through with it. And I was like, okay, no, I just make sure you were still alive. She'd done an amazing thing. As soon as this had happened, she'd gone and get people in her office and called 911. And then when she'd done that, she called my mom because it was on TV, and she knew my mom freaking, and she called my mom and said, we're okay. I went, happy birthday. It was my mom's birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
And then that day, just, gosh, we get home, we're just so shaky, and then the FBI calls and says you have to come back and be interviewed by the FBI, and you just go to Heritage, this place I've been working at forever and love, and it's just FBI and news vans everywhere, and it's just the most surreal thing I've ever seen. It's just, this just can't be real, this can't be happening. You just go to the FBI, you get interviewed, just come back, and you worry about everybody, you worry about the people. Then then we went to the hospital that night, to see make sure the kids are okay. And I mean, you just worry about the kids that got hurt. You just worry about, and I called several of my kids, and because they were just, some of them were just freaking out, you know. But yeah, that was a rough day.
I bet it was.
It was a rough day.
Well, to move on to a lighter side,
Ugh.
the better side.
Let's-
So, as being, the prestigious teacher that you were, and the, long career you had, if there was one definitive moment you could define while being there, like, your favorite student, if you had one, or if you just remember a certain student or your favorite, most memorable day.
People just have asked me this before actually, and I can't. I just don't have. I have so many moments. I have thousands of moments. I have so many great memories. I mean, just everything from kids coming back from college or careers and visiting you and telling you made a difference to, I mean, fun sports things like, winning championships. And they're not just sports, just sports and academics. We won 5 state academic team championships. We did one fun thing one time. It was the first time the softball team, the fast pitch softball team, had made state, and I arranged it so that, and they've done this since then, but I arranged it so that the whole school came outside, and they didn't know it, and we walked outside to get on the bus, and the whole school was lined up, and everyone cheering for them, and it was really cool. But I don't know. I had so many great days in the classroom. I had so many kids that meant so much to me. I had so much given back to me, and I can name 1,000 little days, but there's not one definitive story that said, this is it. I'm so proud of some of my kids who've gone on to do great things and told me it mattered to them and things like that. But no, I don't have that one moment that I can come up with. So
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. So you would take students, into Europe on these trips. When was your first trip you did that with?
Yeah. Let's see. First one. Let me make sure this is right. First one. Well, I had gone with my sister-in-law once, as an extra person to go to England and France. But I think our first one was to Italy.
Okay.
It's great. It was Italy, and it was mostly my art history students.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids just absolutely loved art. They got into it as much as I did. As a matter of fact, 2 of them who went on this trip became curators. One in Santa Fe and one at the High Museum, assistant curator of photography. So we're in Italy, and this is what I was talking about with opening doors. These kids continue to travel the rest of their lives, and that's what happens. You show them that it's possible. You show them that they can go across the sea and they can go to these places and they're going to be okay. And I'm so proud of them. A lot of them have just gone by themselves, and taken that gap year and things like that, and traveled around Europe and just done all sorts of things. They continue to travel. They continue to do this. But I remember one time. So we're in the Vatican, and you'll appreciate this, I think. We're in the Vatican, and we walk around the corner, and there was Raphael's The School of Athens. Okay, you know that? And it was like they were meeting their favorite music star or something. It was like, oh my gosh, yeah! And just to see that and go, this is just so fun, so great. So yeah, I would always get so, again, I wouldn't sleep for days before I took them, because that's a lot of responsibility, taking other kids, children across the sea to Europe. Some of them had never been on a plane before. The first time they'd ever been on a plane, they touched ground in Rome, but it changes their lives. It changes their lives. So it was just, that was a thing that I wish somebody at Heritage would continue, because nobody has continued that. And that's been one of the tough things about leaving. Academic team, like I said, 5-time state championships. And, you know, I'm so glad Miss Duke is continuing to teach art history, and that is a program that I've started and that's continuing. But like, nobody's taking them to Europe right now. And so many of the programs I've started aren't continuing, and I hate that.
Yeah. During those trips, did you ever have like, you know, just one of those moments where like kids are getting out of hand or anything?
Well, I did a very smart thing, and I only took my students or somebody I really trusted vouch for this student. I guess I could tell you, this is not my trip.
Okay.
On the trip that I went with my sister-in-law, and we weren't even chaperones. They just said, okay, we get extra tickets, so you want to go? Okay. And I didn't know what I was doing, and I'd never take kids, and I didn't. Oh gosh, it's like, oh, we had some wild kids on that trip who, they were just, I was in trouble the whole time. The first night, my brother gets a knock on the door. We don't want to narc on these kids, but you know, these 4 girls are doing shots with 40-year-old guys in the bar downstairs right now, and we're afraid that, no, thanks for telling us. And he didn't wake us up, so I didn't know that till the next day. But I mean, and those kids continued to be problems the whole way through. So I was super lucky. I had nothing until one trip, that one small suspected incident that I could never prove. So I investigated and warned and that. But my kids are fantastic.
Yeah. Just
like all my kids I taught. They were just wonderful.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, what was your favorite moment from traveling over to Europe? Like, what was like the most, you know, amazing, eye-opening thing while taking these kids on tours?
Well, I think that moment I told you about a second ago with the School of Athens was probably the best. It's just, but again, it's mostly that same reaction, seeing works of art that they know, getting so excited over something that we learned together.
Yeah.
Whether it was in the Louvre or seeing David for the first time. Now, very moving was the Beaches of Normandy. Really powerful, and I was shocked at how powerful that was for young people of this generation. I mean, I can understand it more from me. My dad was in World War II. I've taught history, but that was really, really powerful for them too.
Wow. Yeah, I can only imagine.
Normandy.
Yeah. So all trips aside, you know, it could be in school or it could be, you know, just you and your wife taking over a little vacation. Which
are very different experiences.
Yes, I can imagine.
Very different experiences.
Yeah. What's your favorite vacation?
Oh man, we talk about this a lot, Judy and I. Gosh, I love Greece. I loved it. There's a Santorini, Greece, the island that blew up. Half of it's there, and we stayed at this wonderful little hotel. It's on the cliff, 400 feet down is the water. You stayed in a hotel that was mostly plastered caves. They were natural caves, but they've been plastered over. Your room is just kind of this, and infinity pool looking over. Little, something to feed my geekiness. There was like a little Pompeii kind of thing there, when the volcano erupted, it covered the cities, and they've excavated that. Beautiful sunsets. I loved Greece, seeing things like in Athens, the Parthenon, which I taught about for so long. The pyramids in Egypt were incredibly cool. We stayed at a hotel where we opened our balcony and they were right there. I mean, right there. I've had such incredible experiences. We cruised down do you want me to tell you stories? Or?
Yeah.
Do you want me to? We cruised down the Nile, and we had this guide with us the whole time because we didn't feel real comfortable in Egypt. Usually we just go and travel by ourselves, but in a couple places we've gotten these guides. And there's one place, I just been in, I think I told this story in this class, but we'd been underneath the Great Pyramid, and I'm coming up the tunnel, and I didn't realize, I thought I was out, and I straightened up, and there was a metal bar across it. Safety isn't quite the same level there, and I stood up, and it just ripped my back and started bleeding, and I had on this white cotton shirt, and there's a lot of blood, but it wasn't that bad. And they said, okay, you want to go in? And I said, no way, I'm in Egypt. I'm going to go see the Step Pyramid. I'm going to go see. So we went out to the Step Pyramid, and people kept stopping me every 15 minutes. Do you know your back? Yeah, I know my back. Yeah. But there's this place I taught about in our history, and I don't know if we got to it in your year or not because this change in the curriculum, but it was called the Tomb of Tea. And I don't know if we saw that, but the Tomb of Tea is out in the middle of the desert, and the guy goes, what? You want to go there? And I said, I want to go there. So he drives us out there. It's 115 degrees. Judy says, I'm going to stay in the air-conditioned van. You go. Okay, go. So I get out there, and there's nobody there except for the guard. Mm-hmm. The guard's asleep across the doorway in the shade. And I don't blame him. There's nobody there. It's 115 degrees. So we wake him up and go, Gil, can we go in? No, close today. And then I guess, give him $5. $5? Oh yeah, come on in. And we go in there, and it's like Indiana Jones, and we're crawling around through here. It's a really cool tomb, and it's just amazing seeing these things I've taught about and looking around. And I said, oh man, can I take a picture? And no picture. $5? Yeah, picture. Yeah, he took the pictures for us, so that was great. So Egypt was great. I love Rome. Italy, Florence, Italy mostly. Egypt was great. I love Belgium. We just got back from Copenhagen. That was a fun trip. Saw the Rolling. That's another great story to us.
Hey, go ahead. Tell
us.
us.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we're in Copenhagen, and the last night, Judy's going, the Stones are in town, and she's never seen them. I like them, but she loves them. And she said, I've always wanted to see them. I said, no, we'll drive out to the stadium and see if we can get tickets. I tell the guy at the hotel, I said, do you know where we get them? He said, wait, there's a guy. He calls another guest down. His guest wants to sell me his tickets, but he wants to sell me his tickets at the price he paid the ticket broker. So it's like $900 a ticket or something. I go, yeah, no. So we'll just head out there, and I said, look, we'll wait till the concert starts, 8 o'clock. Stones won't come on until 9. We'll get tickets. Thousands of people there, just thousands of people lining in the street waiting to get in, just all up and down, just waiting for the huge line. And it's getting close. People are offering us tickets, but they're too much. And this one guy comes up, and I said, yeah, I want tickets. He goes, I got great ones. I said, no, I want cheap tickets. I just want to be in the Stones concert. Give me, I want like $75. He goes, no. Okay. So, anyways, he gets up there. We get up there, and now it's 8:15. And Judy's freaking out. We're not going to get in. We're going to get in. We're going to get in. That guy comes back up to me and goes, I got great tickets. How much will you give? I said, okay, I'll give you $90 a ticket. He said, okay. He takes me over to this guy. Now it's raining, and we're all outside. And he takes me over to this guy who looks like just rode hard, put up wet. Just looks like he's been a roadie for the Stones at one point. And this other guy from New York who met him in a bar the night before doing cocaine with him. And I said, oh, okay, great. Because we don't do that. And I'm going, okay, all right. Because the New York guy said, yeah, I bet Martin last night. We were doing, okay, all right. Martin, the roadie guy, puts all access passes around our necks. And I said, I'm not giving you any money until we get inside. He said, I'll get you inside. He said, Irish guy. And Martin's on something, drunk, something, and he's pushing us, going. He's like super nice, and then he'll freak out and go, hurry up, I got to go, and we're getting there, and he's just moving through the crowd, throwing the passes, going, I got people, I gotta get inside, and he's moving, and he's moving out of the way. And then people just let him, and he's moving the barriers, for the lines, and just getting them, and people try to follow us. He goes, you gotta have one of these, and he starts making up stories. She's a singer in the band, we gotta get in, and okay. But every time we got to a big checkpoint, there'd be a security guard there. Martin knew. Oh, Martin, come on in. So we get all the way up inside, and Martin drops us off and says, all right, go. And I said, Martin, wait, is there even a seat we can have? You want a seat? come on. And he goes up there, and you know how, like, here's a stage, and you got a sea of humanity, and then you got the seats. He goes, there's 50 seats there, take one. I said, okay. All right, Martin, and we paid him $90 a ticket. So we, and the guy from New York, who is a Rolling Stones fanatic, who's seen them 70 times or something, says, oh, we gotta do better than this. And we walked up to the guard on the floor and said, can we get through? And he goes, oh, sure, okay. So we walked through. Well, you know, you got 1,000 people sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
You have some concerts like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We walk up to the front, and there's another gate, and there's about 20 feet, and then there's just the row of speakers. And we said, well, the crazy guy from New York was really leading most of this, doing this. And he said, okay. And we showed him. And he goes, sure. We're standing there 15 feet from the stage, looking back, and there's 50,000 people there. And I'm going, wow, we're here. And the Stones come out, and there's 3 stages. There's here, here, and here, and we're right in front of one of them. I mean, like, hanging over. It's me, the sound guy, and the speakers. And 15 feet away is Jagger, and who's amazing.
Mm.
Hey, he's 74 years old. He's running around, going crazy, just incredible. And there's Keith Richards up there smoking a cigarette, playing the guitar, and we're 15 feet away. And just incredible night. And it's just because we said, yeah, let's go try. Yeah. And yeah, so.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So that was a great night.
Oh,
That was fun.
that's amazing.
Yep.
Man, I couldn't imagine. I mean, I've been to one of those concerts before where, you know, you just have like a whole bunch of people, like
Right.
a Luke Bryan concert, and it was just, you know, but God, I couldn't imagine just being right there. Oh, especially with Mick Jagger up there.
Yeah.
But that's amazing.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Well, back to coming around the end of your tenure,
Yeah.
being a teacher. What made you decide to lock the door for the final time?
Well, I for one thing, I had things were changing a bit. I mean, like, they really wanted me to conform what I was teaching more than I wanted to conform. I don't teach the way you're supposed to teach now. It's supposed to be groups and student centered, and I'm still the old guy who's, you know, we call it the sage on the stage, and you know, and it works for me, but I could feel them really want me to do more change. Although they were great. I mean, they were great because I'd been there 30 years. They really let me do some things that they didn't let other people do. But it was mostly, though, it wasn't mostly the school, because I was still enjoying my job. I still loved it. I still had great students and all that. My wife, Judy, is a few years older than I am. She's starting to have some, like, knee, back, neck problems. We wanted to go enjoy, travel, while we could. And if she had still been working, I wouldn't have retired. But she had retired, and we wanted to go and do things like going to the Copenhagen trip and we went to Israel this year with our church. And we're going to Paris in the spring, and we're going to go to Provence for our 25th anniversary. We're doing those things now because these are the years